Alright, hello. Hello. Let's make sure everything's working here. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Alright, yes, that is on. I like it already. I like it already. Alright, let me just send this out in my socials. Alright, do that and we'll get started. I think almost everything's up. I will F that RAM. Alright, so if you don't know, I'll turn this down a bit. So if you don't know, this is a mod you do usually on a couple different things, not just a Sega Saturn, but Sega Saturn's probably the most common, and that is an FRAM mod. So currently in the Sega Saturn, it is an SRAM. So SRAM, or static RAM, literally goes ahead and when you put your saves, when the Sega Saturn goes ahead and it saves its games, you may notice, if you ever played this before, that what'll happen is over time your battery goes, all of a sudden, boom, your saves are gone with it. And that's because that just like on a old Nintendo cartridge with a battery, it saves it to SRAM. So SRAM is a cheaper alternative, and that's what Sega put in this console. Heck, it's what Nintendo even put into their N64 memory packs, which I'll be changing one of those. Those are much smaller FRAMs, but I'll be changing one of those soon too. But nevertheless, what FRAM does is, instead of lasting until SRAM has to have power, hence the battery dies, no power, erases it. FRAM is flash RAM. Flash RAM. So with flash RAM, it actually does go ahead and well, save for a long time. In fact, 45 years is what they say. 45 years with FRAM. So with that, battery dies, which is very common on a Sega Saturn, like within months in some cases. If you didn't back up your saves, your save's gone. With FRAM, you have 45 years to back it up to a cartridge. So that is FRAM. That is FRAM right there. It is not a Streets of Rage stream. I'm sorry. It like didn't update when I wanted it to update. So I was like, ah. So, nevertheless, so I've done one of these before, but I've not done one on this Saturn. So we're going to do it on this Saturn, a Model 1 that currently has a RIA installed as an ODE for the disk drive. Okay, now this mod is a little advanced, and it's only because of one thing that Sega did, and I understand why they did it. I don't like that they did it, but I understand why they did it. And that's that they usually would have adhesive under these chips to go ahead and keep them on the board during the soldering process. So if you look, this chip sometimes will be on the top. I don't know in this case, we're going to find out together. Sometimes will be on the top of the board. Most cases it's on the bottom of the board. And as you can imagine, to go ahead and, well, prevent the chip from falling off during assembly, they would glue it. And when they glued it, that's some crazy, crazy stuff they used, I'll tell you. Because it is sticky. Sticky, icky. So that is something that is always probably the hardest part of this entire mod right here, to be honest. Really is that. Because again, that SRAM, I'll tell you, that gunk, that glue under it, definitely gets gets bad. It does help to have blast processing, and that's what the issue was with the Sega Saturn. No blast processing. Unbelievable. So even if you just want to take a quick peek, you're going to see it probably better on which one? This one? That camera. So this has the ODE, the RIA installed. So again, I have a little 3D print so you don't just look into metal. But nevertheless, it's floating out here. It's crazy that sounds. So we're going to have to take this bad boy down all the way to the Bobo, to the motherboard. So not a big deal at all, honestly. Saturns are easy to tear down in most cases. As long as they haven't been, like, you know, toyed with. So with this mod, one thing that's going to be huge is a whatchamacallit there, a hot air reflow station. So that's what we're going to be using today, is a hot air reflow station. It's honestly the only way to get this SRAM out. So once you get the SRAM out, it's smooth sailing. It's small points, but smooth sailing. Oh, I always forget. That's right, the Saturn. Screws in the back for the power. Looks like somebody already cracked this one. Well, it's not me, said Shaggy. That's right, I made that reference. What of it? What of it? There we go. Gotta take the power supply out because you gotta get to that Mobo. Take a little plastic sleeve here. And just screws, 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 more screws. And when you think you're done, there's more screws. It's actually not as many screws as like something like the Wii. Oh my goodness. If you've ever taken apart a Wii before, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I think the Wii, next to that would be probably the GameCube that has way too many screws. Way too many screws. The GameCube, at least it has all the same size screws, just all in a row, big box. But man, on that unbelievable Wii, oh my goodness, so many screws, too many screws, arguably. So this ain't bad. This ain't bad. Yes, I do like to use screwdrivers. Not a big fan of actually using, you know, electric screw guns or anything like that on systems. I'm really not. And you know, I know people do it, and awesome. That's awesome that they do. I just can't say I think it's a good idea. Let's put it that way. So, I don't think it is. But, you know, if you're good with it, you're good. That's how you work. That's how you work. Oh, how could I forget? Battery's actually still good in this one too. But I already backed up all my saves, so. And again, that's one thing to really note about this mod to begin with. Like, honestly, you don't have to do this mod. Again, just back up your saves onto your cartridge, your action replay, what have you, and you'll be good. But I never just settle for good, personally. Oh, look at that Mobo. I do have the VCD card that's in here. Already took that out though. Oh yeah, let's forget about that. Just push you out since you're a good battery. Just get you out of there. There we go. Alright, FRAM. Like I go right to the back of the board because I know where you are. Unfortunately, I know where you are. That's... God, it's so unfortunately, man. So, here it is. Boop, boop, boop. Let me show you. There it is. That's the enemy right there. There it is. The enemy. The enemy. So, we're to combat the enemy with this. Well, we can see it. Direct replacement. Look at that, huh? So this is a pack of FRAMs specific to this, to the Sega Saturn. Again, just it is FM 1808. Take one out because I have a whole bunch of FRAMs. I just want to double check, but when I grabbed it, I was like, yeah, this is the one. Oh yeah, it's gonna be. Look at that, huh? Beauteous, beauteous. But that's not the issue. The issue, so that'll be the easy part. Taking it off. That's the hard part. Taking it off on camera. That's the harder part. There's my thumb. Alright, so one thing I like to do, some people neglect this step, I think it's important, is just to protect everything around it with heat. Again, we've got a whole bunch of different chips over here. You got the BIOS is actually right here. Again, I don't want anything to happen with that. Again, so I'm gonna kind of concentrate the heat. A little bit of tinfoil. Let's see. That might have been too big. That's okay though. Yeah, let's cut another one off. That was too big. I don't know why I thought I needed it so big. Tinfoil. Plenty of this stuff. Not like TP, you know. Well, that went from chopping and it was decently, like, not bad. Wasn't a bad experience. Oh yeah, that's better. Lasers and phasers, the song is telling me. Take out the controller port, ribbon cable. Because things are about to get hot. 360 to 375 degrees Celsius. Hot. Okay, so I'm thinking so far everything's masked off, everything's good. Look at that. Now this will burn off anyway, but it would not be easier to use painter's tape because you want to deflect the heat. It's not necessarily to just go ahead and, you know, it's not to just go ahead and, you know, mask off the area to do a sweet paint job. It's more to just make sure it doesn't wreck every other chip around it. It's a little bit of flux, never hurt nobody. That's what we call the hardest part. That's for sure. $365. It's $353. I can tell if you're gonna say painter's tape. No offense, but that's why I was like, I don't know what he's thinking. So first thing is, if there's any type of that adhesive I was talking about earlier under here, you want to make sure you go ahead and get that up first. That's what's going to be the killer with this thing. It's not necessarily anything else when it comes to you know, the soldering. Yeah, they're small pins, but that's easily doable. It's specifically that adhesive underneath, because of course what will happen is with that adhesive you could rip traces that are underneath and everything else. So this is something where you really want to take your time. Like, you really want to take your time. And I've got a smaller tip on my rework station here, my 858D. This D always works. So I'm at 365 degrees, about 55% on the actual air speed here. Sorry, I'm concentrating. So the goal is to have this pop right off. That's the goal. Like just a simple pop off. No pressure. Pop off. Oh, 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 we are the lucky ones. Oh my goodness. Allow me to go ahead and play the lottery. Why? Because we did not have any adhesive under this one. That is a GD miracle right there, man. Makes my job easier. But that's what you want, right? So if you just saw that here, I'll go ahead and put it under the microscope and such. But this is what you want. Actually, I'll put it over here so you can see. So look at that, huh? You see that? It's not focusing. Hello, autofocus. So that's what, there we go. So that's what you want. Nice clean removal right there. See how that was a nice clean removal. Didn't rip up any pads. Didn't rip up any traces or anything like that. Even when you look down on here, Looks like it's casting a shadow for some reason on there. There we go. So again, no rip traces whatsoever, which is good. So I'm going to take this off because we're really not working with the hot air station. For the rest of this, I can even put this down here and replace it with my soldering iron. All right. Take that tip. Do I want to go knife tip? No. Knife tip isn't bad because knife tip will allow, you know, to do just a little bit of drag soldering, but this is good for that, you know, just to get that little soldering out of the way. So let's clean up our mess. We've got a little bit of a soldering mess there. Oh my goodness, can't believe there was no epoxy on that one, or adhesive or whatever it is. It's definitely an adhesive. Don't think it's epoxy, but you can see it too. It's like little red dots if you ever do this yourself. Little red dots. So this was an easy one. I guarantee you they were all not this easy. In fact, if I get I have my Model 2 upstairs. I could, it's a Japanese one that I'll be doing this to as well soon. Yeah, I could almost guarantee that one probably has the adhesive on it. So, all right. So everything looks pretty clean. Next step, I'm going to take my soldering wick, kind of go over it real quick, get any that gunk off. Get that gunk off. How small is my tip? My tip is just, it's small, but still gets the job done. This small. That small. Put a little bit of no clean flux on there. There you go. Let's just kind of drag it around, get some of that old solder off, get it all off. Put some nice fresh solder on there anyways. Really should play the lottery with not having any adhesive under here. Just cleaning up these pads, you know, just getting it all out. Let me turn up the iron a bit. Boost mode. I hate this solder wick, by the way. Hate this solder wick. Alright, so let's prepare our new FRAM, since we went ahead and took off the SRAM. With me so far? I hope you are. I hope you are. I hope you're having a good Tuesday night. What a night, huh? Everybody doing anything good this Tuesday night so far? I mean, other than watching me. Everybody have a good Tuesday day? Anybody doing anything good? I want to hear some good news. Good news. Here's my other FRAM. Where's my FRAM? I've shown it off earlier. There it is. There it is. Trying to run away. Alrighty. So, let me tell you about people that make printed circuit boards. They're wicked smart. Now, why are they wicked smart? I'll show you. So, here we are. Now we're one chip less on this board. We're like, oh my goodness. How do we know which way this goes? Well, what they did is on the chip, there's a little dot. And that little dot corresponds with that little notch. Now, some chips have that notch, but this one doesn't. It just has that dot. Now, with this mod, we do have to go ahead and lift up 2 pins. So, let me just actually get those 2 pins up here. It is pin number 22 and 28. 22 and 28. So, now we just got to count. Now, here's another thing. Again, those chip makers are so smart. What they do, let's get that in there. Whoop, is that this is 1, goes all the way down, then you count back up, and you go back this way. So, this is the first chip. This is the first pin, rather. That's the last pin right there. So, we just got to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, 14 pins per side. Times that by 2, we're looking at 28 pins. We need to lift pin number 22 and pin number 28. So we got 14. Oh, hey, Fatty 2-Bits. It is actually, I am speaking Greek. That is true. I'm actually speaking Greek. That's why I can't understand. It's okay. The English live stream, it's on the other channel, you know. So, there we go. So you got the first 14 pins. Then you got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So it looks like it's right over the M. Double check. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Right over the pin. Now it's easy, right? So if it's pin 28, pin 22, pin 28's the last one. That's the easy one. So we just have to go ahead and lift these up because we're going to solder directly to these pins, and they're not actually going to hit the board itself. So I like to take my pair of tweezers. Here you are. And just kind of gently, no real force, you don't want to break it off. Lift it up. Always double check. As they say, measure twice, cut once, right? What even is that icon, Fatty 2-Bits? I love it. All right, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, let's see. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, I see. I might have lifted the wrong pin. Why do I keep... It's because I'm on camera. I'm shy. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6, 27, 28. Yeah, so it did. Oh my goodness. So it is pin 22, but I lifted the wrong pin at first, which is okay. Just pin it, you know, just bend it back down. Plus, I have a whole sleeve of these FRAMs, so it's not like it's that crazy if I need to pull out another one, but that'll be fine. That'll work. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 is lifted up. Perfect. Put that back down, please. Yeah, that'll do fine. And then 28. That's the last one. That's an easy one. All right. There we go. Ooh, look at that. It's gonna fit perfect. Watch this. Yeah, it's like magic. Either that or it's like Sega should have just used a FRAM to begin with, but that's fine. That's fine. Not here to fault anybody. But they really should have used an FRAM to begin with. Now, why didn't they? Well, it's pretty simple. Money. Even today, FRAM's kind of expensive for a chip. But back then, they were trying to keep a system down, price down. Exactly. See, Princess Peach knows. See, thank you, Fatty 2-Bits. But as the they want to keep their console price down. So, of course, SRAM, cheaper. So they were just like, yeah, that's what we're going to use. All right. So as we solder this bad boy in, Yeah, I'm telling you, why for some reason it looks dark on your screen. It looks darker, even though it's got a full-on LED. Doesn't want to get closer. Is that maybe what it is? Then it will be less dark for you guys. Yeah, it's still pretty dark. I'll go closer. Now I feel like that's too close. Too close. Too close. There we go. Blip that up a bit. And we'll focus it back in. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Exactly, fireballs. That's exactly it. Yep. You got it. All right, let's let's do this up. Get some solder. I got mine at 340, but it might go a little lower. First thing you want to do, like anything good. Oh, I am gonna solder that. So you want to line it up. I like to line it up with my fingers first to make sure it's all good, especially because this chip is smaller. And then, just like, you know, if you were welding, you want to tack in one side here. Because then you tack in one little pin, you'll be able to move it. And guide it to wherever you need it to be, which I'm about to do. Ooh, where are you going, pin? Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? It looks lined up on this side. Oh yeah, just use the microscope. Microscopes for nerds. Okay. Looking good on that side. Actually, the microscope gets in my way. But I do it for you. I do it for the people. I do it for the people. So let's check out this side before we just solder that in. Whoop. There we go. Oh yeah, looks good on this side. Looks really good, actually. Good. Just kind of keep her steady. Here we go. Oh yeah. See, once you do that, honestly, once you get 3 out of the 4 corners, have I ever bricked a console? I do a lot of software modding, and no, I don't think I have. Oh, I did brick one console once, but then I fixed it, so I don't know if that counts. And that was installing a larger memory in a Switch. So it was a in the Switch you have 32 gigs of memory, so on an eMMC chip, and I put in a 256, yeah, 256 internal, which was awesome because it's 256 plus 400 gigs what I had for SSD at the time, and so lots of space. But anywho, yeah, so what happened was it actually went ahead and wouldn't recognize it, even though it was the same Samsung model. It just wouldn't recognize it, and so I had to go ahead and go back into like the header code when it first starts and change the values back, and it was fine. So yeah, no big deal there. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I've never bricked a console. No. I mean, bricked is something you do with like software. When it comes to like hardware like this, you know, you can mess up. You know, you can definitely mess up. But honestly, most mod jobs you can, go ahead and you can fix. There's a way. And even if you don't know how to do it, there's pros out there who do it and could help you out. Like I said, like this mod, I would not recommend to a beginner. you can see these are small pins. Now there's two ways you could solder this in, right? You could drag solder it, which is you just drag the solder right across. Or you take a really small tip like this and you just kind of go one at a time. One at a time. Add a little solder, one at a time. And then remember, solder is attracted to the heat, so like that one right there got a little too much on it. Just put it back over it again, went right on the tip, bada bing. Look at that, already one side in. I might go, what I usually like to do is I like to clean it up, go back to it, and there you go. But yeah, when it comes to bricking consoles, most consoles have a, you know, modders have like a nice fail-safe for you too. So it's really hard to mess it up, sort of thing, you know. All right, where are we? There we are. Did you also notice the name of this chip, by the way? I love it. It's fantastic. It's Ramtron. We are working with the Ramtron. Only the best. Only the best. Yeah, I don't know how easy these are to get right now. Just because with the whole shipping being all meh. But here we go. I don't say there's nothing wrong with either method as long as you take your time to go slow. Whether you drag solder or do each one individually. The drag solder usually would have what they call a knife tip, which is right to my right over there, but I don't know. I'm modding tonight just to kind of relax, kind of chill, especially because, you know, the way I've been chilling lately has been Animal Crossing. My fiance got me into that game. It is so good. I played the original on GameCube, and back in the day I didn't really think too much about it, but she got me hooked on New Horizons. This is looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do, because I'm very thorough, is I'm going to clean it up. And then we're going to take a look at it again. And then we'll solder in the wires. Make sure she's in there nice and tight, you know. This will be so nice not to have to worry about saves going bye-bye. Did one before, it wasn't for me though. This one's my console, so. The other one had the epoxy. That one really, you had to, really melt that down. Alright, so I'm going to personally go ahead and check these. I like to check them with my eyes all around before I call it done and done. Sometimes I'll use the light. Could go over a couple of them again. I mean, they're making contact, but, you know, I like to be nice and thorough. So, make sure they're making really good contact. So yeah, iron's at 340 degrees Celsius. That's the way. That's a good temperature so you don't burn anything. You don't want to burn any pads off. So we're just going back over it, making these look a little bit nice, you know. I'm a big fan of making mods look nice. Which, in all honesty, nobody's going to see it. Especially this thing, it's on the back of the board. But I like to make it look nice. I like to make it look like, I like to fix the mistakes Sega did. Sega was like, oh man, we're going to put an SRAM instead of FRAM. And some guy's going to stream on Twitch and fix our issue. So originally this mod was, there was a nice write-up years ago by Renee, who is from DB Electronics. He is an electronics engineering genius, let me tell you, that guy's good. And so, you know, he did a great write-up about it. And recently, an incredible man, Bob Neal, or Bob from Retro RGB, he went ahead and did an even another write-up, kind of expanded on Renee's findings, if you will, in that, you know, to go ahead and really make sure that it doesn't get messed up with the clock circuit is to, you know, do a couple extra steps. And that actually worked out, you know, a lot of people say it works out well. And so, yeah, it's like, now's the time to do it. Hence why we lift 2 pins now. So originally you didn't lift 2 pins, you only lifted 1. Because one of them will be going to ground. One of these ground pads over here just waiting for us. This is so ghetto trying to prop it up for you guys. Here we go. So this actually makes you wonder, is the BIOS chip, which is right below it, is that one actually going to be adhesive down? It's crazy to think this one was not. I would have bet money it would have been. I would have lost that money, I tell you, I would have lost it. Would have lost it all. Yeah, that one could use something. Sodom. All right. See, when you get a bridge like this, easy fix. Solder wants to come away anyway, so just gonna pull it away or pull it down. There we go. Almost scoops it right out. Oh, you didn't see it. The microscope was not in the way there. That's all right. Yes, Bob and Renee are amazing human beings. I have met Bob multiple occasions. Bob's great. He's incredible. He is literally one of the nicest people you will meet. I don't know if you're on the Retro RGB Discord, but I'm DLang6487 on there, and yeah, Bob's great. He's incredible. Renee, genius. Alright. I went over it again. Probably didn't need to, but, you know, I like to make it all nice and neat. This is where I gotta walk away, because I like to get a little too into it, you know. So, important step before we go ahead and wire in our two wires to ground it and such. We'll just kind of clean it up, make sure it looks nice. Yeah, it's no clean flux, but it's always good to just get it off the board. It's never good to leave it on the board. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Those joints actually look great. Yeah, it's hard to see with this microscope camera. It's not the best one, but... Oh yeah, it looks like all the connections are present. With the exception of the two that we need. Yeah, it's weird shadowing on this on that microscope for some reason, but this actually may show better up here. There it is. Look at her in all her beauty. Before we put in the two wires. Looks like Sega put it there themselves. Which they should have, but I also get why they didn't. FRAM is expensive. Even today it's a little expensive. Alright, so we're going to use Kynar wire. Because again, it's just signals. It's not RGBs. It's not like RGB type signals. You know, it's whether it's high or low and grounded. So in this case, it's a low voltage chip. And what I like to do with Kynar is instead of going ahead and using my wire strippers, I actually thoroughly enjoy using. I'll see for a second. I didn't even think it was a chip. I was like, oh, that was already in there. Nail clippers. They actually work really well to go ahead and get wire off just a little bit. Look at that. Oh yeah. See, just go. Put it in. Look at you. Just gonna put it on. Pull it. See? And then when you do it this way, then you don't have to like go ahead and like you don't have to burn it off and have all that amazing plastic, you know. So we'll go ahead and it's going to be about there. Yeah. Go to that one right there. So pin 22 will be grounded. That's right. It will not leave its room. That's right. Sega Saturn. So good. Oh my gosh. It definitely in the US it had some issues, let's put it that way. Although I would say really the issues in the US, to be completely blunt, yeah, I'll do another one real quick, is man, that marketing was so bad. Oh my gosh. I still remember. Oh, creepy man behind me. I still remember that marketing was so bad. It's probably the reason why I got a PlayStation, to be honest. It's like, plus I was like, loved Crash Bandicoot, and I love that he would go outside of Nintendo and start yelling at Nintendo. Loved that ad. Oh my gosh, it was so funny when I was a kid. PlayStation was the first console I bought with my own money. That's right. Fun fact right there. A little fun fact for you. A little clean there. What did I say, this one? Yeah, we'll go that one. Actually, you know what? Before I even get to that one, not a bad idea to do this little trick. So, what I don't see a lot of modders, like when they do any type of tutorials and stuff like that, use, which is a shame, is something that I love using. Here it is. which is a fiberglass pen. Oh yeah, yeah. The Dreamcast definitely had better resolution. Dreamcast is a beautiful machine. I remember going to my neighbor's house and playing it for the first time. He just got it. He got like Sonic Adventure, I think, on it. Here we go. So just real quick, the fiberglass pen is going to take off some of that masking, you know, on the board. So you won't even really, you'll notice it when it starts to heat up. It's like, oh, finally, it'll heat up. But yeah, Sega Dreamcast is amazing. Oh my gosh. I love that thing back in the day. And then when I got my own, what a day, man. What a day. What a day. It really was an amazing day. But the Dreamcast is such an odd system in that, you know, it's like, I actually really enjoyed it back when it came out. For me, it had a lot of the best PlayStation ports. But yeah, it's just such a weird console that it just didn't do too hot. And then it just went away. People kind of forgot about it. And then nowadays, it's such a cult classic of a console. And it really is such a good console, too. I also have the Naomi, which is the Sega arcade version of the Dreamcast, which is a fantastic arcade system. No, it's actually a little long, but that's okay. Yeah, a little long, actually. Why did I cut it so long? I'm actually gonna take that off, trim it back a bit. Sega! That's right, that's right. Yeah, no, I wish they didn't drop out of the market either. I get it, though. I get why they did. Like, at that point in the, you know, they weren't making any money on the hardware. Not that most console makers do. And they were taking such a loss. You know, things have been downhill since the 32X. It just was like, alright. They bowed out. It's some amazing machines, I agree. They really do. Looking back, you know, we look back now and we can, you know, not even just nostalgically, because some of us didn't even have these things. You know, some of us didn't have a Sega Saturn when it came out. You know, no one really had a 32X when it came out, but kind of like respect what they did, you know, and what they were, which were arcade powerhouse port powerhouses. Yeah, I agree. Wish they would have stayed SNK style. I agree. But they were close. I mean, I have the Sega STV. Literally, one of them's right there. Which is the Sega Saturn arcade. Which is a great system. And, you know, they went ahead and had the Naomi. Like I said, I have that. And that is an amazing machine. As it's just an arcade Sega Dreamcast. And the Sega Saturn and Sega Dreamcast both had great, you know, that's a ground plane, so I'm going to turn up my iron a bit. They had great arcade ports, man. Oh my goodness. So good. Here we go. Ground it out. Make sure this is in good shape. Yep. Yes. I mean, even to this day, the Saturn's very hard to emulate. And that's mainly because it has two CPUs, because it's a 2D powerhouse. Thing's amazing, and that's really what it was made for. But then they're like, so this thing does 3D games, right? And it's like, sure. And they shoved another CPU in the thing. Most programmers, you know, most developers didn't know how to program with the thing. And emulating it was incredibly hard. So, yeah, they, you know, for the longest time, it was like, couldn't emulate it. Definitely a lot of emulators have come a long way, though, with Saturn. So, which is great. Because, yes, I am 100% for original hardware. 100% love the original hardware. Couldn't think myself doing anything else. However, I know it's not realistic for everyone. So, the way I see it, and always have, and always will, Even though right now, if you go up to my game room, I have, I think, not including handhelds, 40 consoles hooked up. You know, that's not feasible for everybody. Emulation is okay. See? Emulation. I don't have to do like what I'm doing right now. It'll just save. So, you know, I know some people are who are very much have all the original hardware, like myself, are very, like, you know, condescending towards people using emulation, but I'm not. Because you know what? As long as you get to play the game, as long as you get to have fun, that's all that matters. That would be awesome. Only consoles around this house are Switches. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Especially because I have 4 hack Switches, and they are beasts. They're amazing. What, like, the amount of emulation, even just on the Switch alone, you can do is fantastic. It's amazing. Honestly, the Switch, great console. Great console. So if you have a Switch, you're in good shape. You're in great shape. Yes, lots of electronics, minimal consoles. Yep. Oh man, that would be nice if they made a port to the 32X or the 3DO, because I am secretly in love with the 3DO. I'm not embarrassed to say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4 3DOs. I love a 3DO. Underrated system. Really wanted one when I was a kid, man. Oh, I really wanted one when I was a kid. Wow, I just looked real quick and saw Latte Panda. That does... Yeah, I don't know why you'd have it send him back. Latte Panda's great, though. Speaking of emulation. I actually use the ESP on my hacked PS4s there. Yeah, hacked PS4s, we need a little love on that. Because we can't get over 5.05 for the official hack, which is kind of a problem. Because, you know, a lot of games are past that. There we go. So what we're doing is we're taking the, essentially, this one, we're putting the 5 volts, I believe it's 5 volts, from this chip to our new FRAM. Get a little bit more solder on that chip leg. Here we go. See, I love this soldering iron that I'm using right here. It has a boost mode, so it boosted up when we did the ground. And I just looked and I was like, oh, I didn't turn it down. It already turned itself down. Because boost mode's like temporary. It's fantastic. Realized I did not move this. There we go. Yeah, not really too many wire solders on this one, but that's okay. Oh, we'll get more. Oh, as a meme, that's okay, because I was like, that just doesn't make much sense. So, nice, making a video out of it. Love it. I had the 3DO since 96, the FC1 model. Oh, I love the FC1 model. I bought the Minemo ODE kit for it. Yep, it's a great kit, actually. Love it. I have 3 of them. Don't ask. It's nice, but there will be a cheap version, open source soon. FC1 unit, it's plug and play. It is. What I did is I have... Okay, so I have my 240p Japanese one. I bought a Minemo for that. The ODE. And what I did was the CD-ROM cover. I actually like kind of just put a little hairline of glue, put that on, put the thumb drive in, said see you later, put all the games on it, and you're done. So I didn't like want to have that USB. I know some of them can have that USB out the front. I have 2 FC10s with the board in it, where you have to take off the CD drive DAC. You got to take that right off, and yeah. That's awesome though, because like the FC10, I love my FC1s, and I have 2 of them. In fact, I installed Citrus 3000 PSIs on this channel. You know, Dan Kuhn's his 3DO RGB kit on an FC10 and an FC1, and with the OSSC, with my TV, the FC10 works better, and a lot of it I think has to do with the encoder chip that's on the FC1, at least my version, which has it's the original chip version that wasn't supposed to be able to do any type of 240, and it does on there. So when you put a 240, it just kind of messes up on the with my TV. But yeah, and then I have my other RGB modded, just RGB with the old Otaku resistor ladder board. I still kept that one modded, so. There you go. Factory mod. New RGB. No, it doesn't. Okay, so the RGB mod doesn't replace the encoder. The encoder stays. But what happens is, for example, I think it's I forget off the top of my head, like 8103, something like that, encoder chip that's on those specific FC1 models. They don't have a 240 mode that you can force, but Dan's board will force that. What I was talking about maybe removing the DAC was if you get the FC10 model of the ODE, so Minemos, or however you would pronounce it, his ODE, for the FC10, you have to actually take off, because it's on the board, you have to actually take off the CD-ROM DAC. So you don't have to do that on the FC1 for, again, the ODE. So, yep. Nemo. Yeah, no, I just want to say Nemo. I don't know if it's Minemo, but, you know, or just Nemo. I don't know. I know that poor guy. He's an interesting character, I'll tell you. He's good though, but yeah, it's such a weird process when you get one of his things, because they're just like, you buy it and then 3 months later it arrives, and there's just no word or anything in between. You're just like, oh, maybe it'll come, maybe it won't, and then all of a sudden it shows up on your doorstep one day, and you're like, oh, it did work. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, as long as you, again, like if you've worked with a soldering rework station before, it's fine. So just got to keep constant heat. And that one I use a bigger tip than I used on this one, for example, because it's a bigger chip. So yep, I mean, it's more of a pain. It's more of a pain because that one you really cannot rip any pads off, because you solder the wires to that pad too. So it's definitely more of a pain. But for me, again, like I said, I have over 40 consoles up there hooked up right now. So I want to, like, you know, if I can get anything smaller, like in there, then that's what I got to do. So I'm gonna actually just straighten out this wire a little bit. I like to kind of, if I can, you know, like I said, most humans aren't gonna see it, but I like having nice bends and stuff. It's a nice bend. Kind of wish. Do I want to shorten that a bit? You know what I can do? You know what I'll do? It's all ground pads, right? I'll just solder to another ground pad right above it, just to keep it looking nice. Boost mode. I get it though. I totally get that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, honestly, it's like, you know, the FC1 is plug and play with that ODE. Like, you literally unplug the CD-ROM drive, plug in the new one, and you're done. Like, that's it. So I get it. I totally get it. But if you were comfortable with any type of you know, like hot air rework stations and stuff, it's not too bad of a mod. And just like I said, for my setup, it's just worth it, because that's my main one. So this is totally unnecessary. It's just a matter of aesthetic for me, an aesthetic that nobody's gonna see. Oh, it is though. I agree with that. The FC10 looks so good, and honestly, the FC1 looks good too. You know. Yeah, I've been modding for a long time, so I just have a baby face. I've used to mod PlayStation 2s. I actually said on a stream, and I still want to do it. I want to mod a PlayStation 2. I haven't done it in years. I haven't put a Matrix chip in. Or now they're mod bows. I don't even know what version they're on. 4 or 5 maybe. But I used to do that back in the day. PS3s I used to do. I had one summer where I would just hack PS3s. Oh my goodness. I would hack them, fix them, sell them. Back when people were using like mod menus left and right. And you'd have to, that's before the days of like, now you can just like go online and bring it down the firmware. Now you know, I had to like take it out, reflash the NAND, or the NOR. Actually, I did the NOR ones more than I did the NAND ones. And then the Xbox 360 I used to do all the time too. I used to put in the chip there. Actually, I want a spare chip behind me for that, because they're so cheap. And that's another easy one to, as long as you're good with a, you know, small soldering, small soldering, I don't know, small soldering, minute soldering. That's another one that you can easily mod, and I highly recommend nowadays to mod both of those systems, honestly. Mm-hmm. It does look hi-fi. I agree with that. But yeah, definitely, those are two systems I highly recommend to mod, is PS3s and Xbox 360s, because XBLA, Xbox Live Arcade, was awesome, and you can't get any of those games. They're lost to time now, which is a shame. And so that's one reason to do that. And then another reason is, of course, especially for PS3, is the fact that you can restore emulation for PS2 games when you go ahead and hack it. So if you have a backwards compatible one, you can still like load games up on it and use the hardware emulation. But if you have like a slim PS3, for example, you can add back PS2 emulation functionality. And it's not perfect, but again, have you ever seen a PS2? Oof. Even with PS2 with component is still a sight to behold. Oh. The video encoder on a PS2 is not good. So that's why even stock, you can get component cables, and it's still just, it doesn't look good. And some of it's, you know, the video encoder for sure. It's a dirty signal. But it also is, you know, most games run at 480i, and 480i is not a. It's honestly a great resolution on a CRT. It'll look fantastic on a CRT or a PVM. But man, you go ahead and you put that thing on an HD TV and you blow it up. But yeah, the deinterlacing in a PS3 is fantastic. It's good. Yeah, you don't even need a backwards compatible one. You can hack any PS3 now. It's so easy. No, there isn't. You have to put the same amount of flash on it, or it won't recognize it. So even though you're putting in the FRAM, you're not going to gain any more space. So it's just a matter of like just keeping it so it does not, you don't lose it. So And actually, the big reason why I decided to do this, other than I needed to walk away from my island in Animal Crossing, because I was just gonna, I don't even know what, I don't know how I've put so many hours in that thing. It really was just because I do want to, I like to play Police Knots once every year. I like to go through Snatcher, Police Knots, and so Police Knots on the Saturn with the gun, which I'll stream if people want me to, is fantastic, and I love it, and it's translated. So they do have a GunCon PlayStation version too for the Police Knots, but I never got it to work well with the GunCon because they patched it in. It wasn't made to use the GunCon. So yeah, make sure that's good. Yeah, that's good. Maybe just a little off the top. Boop. There we go. So yeah. So that's really why I was like, yeah, I'll put an FRAM in this one. I've done it before, like I said, in other people's, but I was like, I'll just do it on this one. I'll probably do it in one of the others. I got a whole pack of these things. I don't know where I put it. Oh, there they are. Right on the microphone stand, so. There you go. Just keep putting more in. Hope there's no epoxy like these ones, but I doubt it. I got a nice white Model 2 Saturn I love. Oh, love her. So yeah, that's the one I'm going to probably end up putting the mode in, which is the new ODE for the Saturn and Dreamcast. Probably end up putting it in that one. Like, I don't know if you were in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to be putting it back in a second, but I got the RIA in this one, so, which works really well. I really do like the RIA, but, the mode, it's going to be nice to not use a micro SD card. It's going to be nice to just put in a hard drive. Oh, Police Knots is so good. Oh my goodness, so good. Not yet. Nobody's done like a video encoder replacement for the PS2 yet. Although Citrus 2000 PSI is working on it. He's doing he has the DC digital, which is the DC HDMI, which I've installed. I don't know if I highlighted it, so it may not be on this channel. But I've installed that a couple times, and that one's a hard install, but it's so worth it. It's so good. But yeah. But yeah, he's doing one for PlayStation, the original PlayStation, and he's doing one for PS2. The original PlayStation one's going to be out soon. So the original, which will be good, but the PS2 one is a little far off. Here, I'll take a picture for posterity. But yeah. Oh, I agree. That's what this is. This is the Model 1 with the oval buttons. And I love it. You're gonna see it put it all back together right now. But yeah, the white Saturn is nice too. I liked them both, so I got them both. But I'm not gonna lie to you. You may be very shocked at how much I paid. So like I said, I've been in the game for a long time here, and I've been collecting for a long time. And I bought this Saturn that you're about to see me reassemble for $20 with a Model 1 controller. $20. Oh, and the guy drove it over to my house too. Didn't even have to leave. And I had friends over at the time. And I was like, the doorbell rang, and they're like, "You expecting anybody else?" And it's like, "Oh, no, it's just a guy dropping off a Saturn. Don't worry about it." And they're like, "What? That doesn't make sense." It's like, "No, it's fine. It's dropping off a Saturn." Oh yeah, I gotta show the final product. Yeah, I heard Saturns have gone up like crazy in price though. Where are we? Come on, focus. There we go. Oh yeah, not bad. Not bad. See down there? It's gonna be hard to see on the microscope, but not gonna lie, after this, probably gonna play some more Animal Crossing. I'm so addicted to that game. I don't even know why. I wasn't even addicted to. I didn't even play the original. I played it a little bit and then was like done with it. That's a different stage in my life, I guess. That's inside fun my car. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We're all stuck inside. I went out to the grocery store for the first time today, and oh god, let me tell you, grocery stores, man, they ain't what they used to be, huh? least here in Massachusetts, it's still waiting in lines. And you have to wear a mask no matter what. You get fined. So. But yeah. But indoor fun is great. Including games. Yeah. Indoor fun's still good. I'll tell you it's amazing just like when it comes down to how gaming has just evolved so much. Because, you know, I love couch co-op. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Not like talking smack when the person's right next to you, right? But like, you know, my friend and I, we were playing Streets of Rage 4 together. Technology. It's just so great. That we could just, you know, online. He's in a different part of this state, you know, just could play together. So I don't know. Boggles my mind still. Had Xbox Live, the original Xbox. Dreamcast. Had that go online. Boggled my mind. It still boggles my mind. I know. Boomer gets boggled by internet. Heck, even this thing. My Sleepy Town grocery store is almost empty. Ugh, it's the worst, I know. Luckily ours is not that empty. They were pretty well stocked, but yeah, I live closer to the to like, you know, city, you know, towards Boston than I do towards like Western Mass. I feel like if I lived out there in Western Mass, it would be probably the same, where it's just hard to come by anything. But yeah. But yeah, it's not a bad time to be stuck inside though. I mean, oof. So many great games came out. So many great retro games are out that you can just like, you know, like I have a Raspberry Pi 4 I bought last year. I think it came in July. Haven't even touched it. Lately, they've just talked about how much like emulation has grown on the system. I can't wait to go check it out. Oh, silly me. I just realized I forgot to put in the cage. I forgot to put on the cage. Oh, the plastic cage. And it's funny because I was taking this apart. I literally said that. I was like, I totally always forget about this cage. Always forget about this cage. It's Ragin' Cajun right here. Empty as in not many people. Oh, the shelves are stocked though. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, the shelves are stocked in ours too. Not empty though. Plenty of people. Plenty of people. Unfortunately. Especially people that just like stand in the aisles. Oh my gosh, it's the worst. It's like, hey, it's supposed to be 6 feet. And you're standing literally in the way. Or like, you know, our grocery store has like, you know, you go up one way, down another. I don't know if like all of them are like that, but then you get the people who don't do that. Who don't go up one way and down the other, and you're like, they're like signs that say, do that. It's crazy. Yeah, oops, yeah, I know. Do you know how many times I've done that with this plastic cage? Oh my gosh, every time I take a Saturn apart. And I said it at the beginning of the video, I said, oh, I'm gonna forget this cage. Forget this thing. Forget this thing. Always do. Thank God for that. It's all Phillips screwdrivers. Thank you, Sega. Thank you. Because, you know, Nintendo likes to, you know, be hard. All those security bits. Ugh, I hate the security bits. There we go. Yeah, it's going to go right about... Oop. Did that go upside down? What? What am I doing? I'm having a brain fart today. There we are. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, that's the other thing though. Going to the grocery store. It's legit like it's like your whole day. Like takes so much out of you. Like I came back from the grocery store and I was like, oh, that's the day. I'm done. There we go. For the record, I hate that cage, but wouldn't take it out. But yeah, so if you haven't already, check out some of the amazing games on this system. You know, on the Sega Saturn. Burning Rangers, so good. Put that in there. Elevator Action Returns. I actually play that on the, I like how I'm like motioning, but over there is my Taito F3 arcade board. And what are some, oh, so many good ones. Police Knots, obviously. I wish Snatcher would have come out for this, but you know, I mean, it's great on the Sega CD, so. Gosh, there's so many. Why can't I think of it right now? So many great games with this system. So many. Oh, Guardian Heroes. That's a good one. I don't know, it's not like you need a microscope to watch me like take this apart, but I mean, I'll put this together, but and then one of my favorite games, Shenmue, that's on the Dreamcast, was originally going to come out here on the Sega Saturn. I am personally glad that they waited and put it on the Dreamcast. No offense, just 3D on the Saturn never looks great. There's very few games that look great in 3D on the Saturn. Again, 2D games look just amazing. Oh, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, like, you know, I have the CPS2 board of that, but the Saturn version is stupid close with the RAM cart. So close to the arcade version. Chunky 3D does have its charm. I agree. I mean, my favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid, the original, so good. And Twin Snakes is good too. I like Twin Snakes, but you know, that gets a little bit of a, you know, it circles. Some people don't like it, but with all the John Woo effects. But it's my favorite game of all time. So Chunky 3D does have its charm. In fact, that's what I grew up with. I love, like I said, PlayStation was my first console I bought on my own. It's a big boy. Everything else was bought for me. There we go, power supply. Oh. This wire sticks up at me, reminding me that, whoop, go into there. See, unfortunately, I can't test this on stream because I'm downstairs and my game room's upstairs. But it works. Just know it works. Oh, I agree. I agree. I would have loved if there was any type of beta. All right, you hear that? Any Sega leakers out there? Can you get us a beta of Shenmue on the Saturn? Because you know, I don't know if you've seen the footage they have of it, but it looked really good. Like it really did for the Saturn. It looked fantastic. And again, arguably Shenmue looks fantastic for the Dreamcast. I think it's one of the best looking games on the system. But yeah, that'd be so cool. I would totally play through a beta, even if it was so broken. Just like you know, my CDIs. I love playing Mario 3D Wacky Worlds. Mario, not 3D. Mario Wacky Worlds. Super Mario World? No, Super Mario Wacky World, I think it was called. I don't know. But you can find the dump of it online, burn it to a disc, play it in a CDI. It's so broken, but it's so fun. And even just to see the potential, Like, what was there? What could have been? It's sad. 32X. Oh man. I mean, I know the 32X gets a lot of hate, but it's kind of. I mean, I enjoy the 32X every now and again, but man, it promised so much, delivered so little. Granted, the Xbox Arcade, the Star Wars Arcade, great port on the 32X. Probably my favorite game on that whole system, I'd say. On clearance for $30 though. Oh my goodness. Hope that thing still works on you. Because 32X went up in price. And again, speaking of 32Xs, right? Again, getting stuff dirt cheap back in the day. I got one brand new for $50. Man, I thought I was a baller for that. $30 is fantastic. Oh my gosh. It's worth it just for the aesthetic. It's that mushroom aesthetic, you know. Right on top of your your Model 1 Sega CD, and then your Model 1 Sega Genesis. It's a beautiful look. Tower O Power. Okay, didn't put one in there. Tower O Power. Yeah, I got one Sega. I have two Sega CDs. I have one Model 1, one Model 2. Obviously, recap the Model 1 if anyone out there has a Model 1 and you haven't recapped it. Do it fast. Just do it right now. Just leave into it. Because they are. I have never come across one that isn't leaking. Model 2 is a little bit better, but when it comes to that. But overall, I actually have more nostalgia for the Model 2, just because that's what I had in the game store back in the day. And I was like, oh my god, that's what I want. And when I got it, it didn't disappoint. I enjoy it. I do. Ah, there she is. In all her glory. The Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn. Oh, yeah. Is it really? Oh, it does. Makes a high-pitched noise. I'd say recap it. It's the easiest thing to do. And then I think it was Renee, speaking of Renee, that went ahead and did like some denoise fix for the video, using different numbered caps. But yeah, it was. I definitely would do that. Recap's so easy, especially if you have a, desoldering gun. It's super easy. See, I didn't know that the AV connector is easy to get now. I have the official one that goes from the Genesis Model 1 to the 32X because it came in that box, so it had everything. The metal clamps and everything when I bought it. I have Model 1 Genesis, not HD graphics, and used to have a Sega CD Model 2. Yeah, actually, for the longest time, I rocked the Model 2 with the extra, the Model 1 Genesis. It was the HD graphics one though, and then the Model 2 Sega CD with the extra. When I bought mine, again back in the day, $60 with the Genesis. It came with the extra, like, I don't even know what you call it, extra spot, so it'll like extender, if you will, so it can fit the Genesis one on it. So I actually like that aesthetic a lot. So it just takes up so much room. It's like, whoa. So yeah, I still have those, but lately what I have set up right now is my Mega SD and my Mega SG. So even though, again, I got stacks of Genesises, all different versions, all different motherboards. Right now I have my Genesis 3 modded, that I modded with to do 32X and Sega Master System and all that. And I put my 32X is on there with a 3D print that Greg from Laser Bear designed. So I printed it on my 3D printer so that doesn't shake around. It's a little compact thing. It's great. And then for all my Sega CD needs now, I've just been using the Mega SD and Mega SG. It's just easier, But Yeah, especially because I always get fearful that the laser's gonna go. You know, like it's like, oh, I'm gonna preserve that laser. Like they're gonna go eventually, but it's like, oh, you know. So I used to burn discs all the time for my Sega CDs. So for years. So I'm always like, oh, okay, all right. I've just been playing with fire, you know. So it's just using the Mega SD, and then I have I have my Nomad too, with the triple bypass and audio and Sega Master System and all that stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, hey, if you're not followed already, follow, because I mod a lot, and I just recently have like been like streaming mods just because people have been like, you know, it was really my friends that were like, who was on here earlier, are like, wait, dude, why do you stream this stuff? Like, it's awesome, because they come up to my house like, oh, what have you done lately? And I'm like, oh, dude, I did this. I put this in here. Check it out, you know. And so they're like, oh, you should stream this stuff. And I was like, does anyone care about this? So yeah, if you do, feel free to follow. Feel free to follow. What I will be doing is another FRAM, but not on the Sega Saturn though. A very unknown thing here. I've got about 3 left. Let's see if you can see that FRAM. See that the FRAM we just put in was small? Oh, look at that FRAM. For size comparison, I guess it's not that much smaller, but it's still pretty small. And so what that is, you keep making them, I'll keep sharing them. That sounds good. Sounds good. But so what this is going to be for is, if you've ever had an N64, which is a great system for just a few games, but it's still a good system. Still a good system. The memory cards actually are SRAM as well. So they're SRAM. And once that battery goes, people don't realize, there goes your saves on your N64 memory card. And there are certain games that only save to the memory card. Again, FRAM is the data sheet. When you look at it, I swear to goodness, it says 45 years. So is it going to last 45 years? I don't know, but it's going to last a lot longer than that battery is. So there you go. For another one, I'm going to go ahead and be doing those. That's much easier. Easy tear down. They're not usually any type of adhesive underneath. And you don't even have to wire anything. It's a direct replacement. Again, it's just that back in the day, SRAM, and even now, it's still, SRAM is so much cheaper than FRAM. You know, static RAM is just, you know, it's cheaper. You know, and I get it. I don't like it. Wish Sega would have just done this from the beginning, but, you know, I get it. So yeah, this is definitely a good mod to have if you have a Sega Saturn, or if anyone else out there has one. Like this, I think is almost like a must at this point. Just imagine playing Police Knots, you're getting through, you're on disc 2, and you're like, oh man, just gotta go and turn off the Saturn real quick, eat some lunch, come back, and your save's gone. Nightmare, I know. So that's why it's an important mod to do. I really do. I really think so. Can you FRAM mod a CDI to avoid the suicide battery issue? No. Fun fact though. So you can still get. Let me actually get it. It's right over here. Where is that? So, a secret love of mine is the CDI. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why, but I love it. Even if you were on the Discord, I think it was yesterday, Bob is asked, hey, is anyone selling a CDI light gun? So, on the Retro RGBR Discord. So, I was like, oh, hey, Bob, I got a light gun and a mouse. Don't buy it. Don't waste your money. I'll send it to you. And he's like, oh, thanks, Dave. That's no problem, you know. But it's funny because that light gun, it's unbelievable. That light gun still works on, because it's an air mouse, it still works on, works on flat screen TVs. Forward thinking, that's right. But you can still buy parts for the CDI easily. So, the Timekeeper chip, this is it right here. I bought it brand new, brand spanking new. It's there. Oh, your CD-ROM, your laser's not working? Don't worry about it. Philips CDI uses just your average laser, that you can still get the assembly brand new in the box. Like, it's crazy. It's not like, this is technically, I believe this is, yeah, OEM. Like, it's crazy. It's weird because they use off-the-shelf stuff, so you can still get all the stuff to repair it. But yeah, so the reason, you know, the CDI timekeeper chip, I did one about a month ago when I RGB modded the 450, the smaller version. What you have to do, and it stinks, you have to take I took my Dremel, you have to Dremel down this thick chip. Look, that's thick, that chip. You have to Dremel it down to go ahead and essentially find the battery in there, take out the battery, solder the wires to a new battery holder, and you're fine. But it's a pain. It's a pain, but you can technically replace it with a new chip. The only problem is it's new old stock, so this could have been sitting since like 95, and so the battery in this thing, you replace it, it's still dead. So it's kind of like, you know, a gamble, if you will. But if you take out the original one, again, use decent soldering gun, and take out the original desoldering gun, I mean, take out the original, put in a socket. It's not a big deal. You just pop it out, go from there. Parts of 3DO are not so easy. It's not so easy at all. What is amazing is they actually 3D printed one of the gears for the CD-ROM drive for the FC1. You can just like go on Thingiverse, download it, and go ahead and print it out, 3D print it and stuff. But yeah, you can't get anything for the 3DO. Once that thing is done, it's done. Like, it's that laser, man. I've actually tried. I've tried looking for a laser, and I just took one from another 3DO. One that had a bad video encoder. Yeah, it was such a bad video encoder. Like, it was just, I was like gonna originally change that out, but I was like, it's 3DO. I already have like a million of them, and I got it dirt cheap. I got it for like $30 for an FC. It was an FC10 actually, and was it? Yeah, no, it was an FC. It was an FC1 actually, and so yeah, it was just like, it would show up like, it was trippy, just a multicolored, beautiful rainbow mess. Oh yeah. Yeah, the FC1, that's right, it was a toughie. That's why I got the ODE, right. It is. That's like I said, I took it out of that FC1, and then put it in the one that had the bad video encoder, took that laser out, put it in the good 3DO. But yeah, the ODEs are the way to go now. They really are. They're, oh god, they really are. Like, we laugh about, like, how indestructible is like an N64. There's no moving parts. You take the thing apart, and it's just a gigantic heatsink and a motherboard. That's it. No moving parts. There's nothing to die on that thing. But again, you put an ODE in something like this, now there's really no moving parts. The 3DO does, well, some models have a little fan, but, big whoop. That's going to be the only moving part. Like, and that's why I think I'm a huge supporter of ODEs. I think ODEs are amazing. I think every system, it'd be great to have one. We're almost there. When you come down to like systems that don't have ODEs, the CDI doesn't have it. Heck, even my FM Towns Marty, that thing's got an ODE. The same guy who does GDMU, that miserable dude there. He's I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but anyway, the same one that does this one too, the Rio. Hope the open source OD allows for external USB CD drives to load legit games too. I agree. You're right. Actually, on the Discord, the Retro RGB, I don't want to name drop it. It's the girl 33K. She was like, oh, does anyone know like the specs for a 3DO fan? Because I guess, she had a friend's was overheating or something. And I was like, oh, it's actually a really, really off-the-shelf fan. And it's super easy to put in because the plastic's already there. Like you said, the header, even if it doesn't have the pin header itself, the pins, you could solder right to the board. They're there. The pads are there, right? So, I mean, you could put a fan in and no problem. And it's a standard fan. It's like, it was like 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter by something. It's like that. But yeah, super easy to get. Again, like I said, I secretly love the 3DO, so I'm weird like that. It's actually a really good system. I think it's a great system. So it doesn't get a lot of love. It like gets roped in with the CDI, and it's like two totally different systems. You know, CDI was meant to be the all-in-one. You know, 3DO was supposed to be like the next big thing. You know, and really it's just because they were like, oh man, full motion video, that's the future. That's what we're gonna do, and they put all their eggs in that basket, and then PlayStation blew it out of the water. See, for you, it's no secret. See, thank you. Keep it alive, because I love that. I love the 3DO. I really do. It's such a cool looking system too. Looks so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, like all of them do. Well, not all of them. The Gold Star one looks like a VCR, but the FZ one looks great. FZ10 looks great. Oh my gosh, it's an amazing system. And even the CDI, I have a soft spot, you know. Thunder in Paradise, it's not that bad, all right? It's no Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan, but it's something, you know. Just something. Shockwave series games, Starfighter, FMV games, better on the 3DO. Road Rash, I still play it on the 3DO. I was playing Road Rash like, I want to say a couple months ago. I still play the 3DO version. I know people say the PlayStation version, I get it. But just something about that 3DO version, like, oh, even the Need for Speed on the 3DO, I love that version the best too. Even if it may not be the most like optimized version, I think that one just, I don't know, it just works better on there. There was a maybe it is Starfighter was the other one I'm thinking of. There was a I played all the way through it too. No, it's Eclipse, Solar Eclipse, I think it was. Was that on 3DO? Something like that. But yeah, that was a great game too. It was either that or maybe it was Saturn, I forget, but that was really good. I loved it. And yeah, 3D was great. Wolfenstein 3D, so good. Oh, there was a speed hack version? No, I didn't. No, I know. I'm still going down the road, you know, and it's not feeling like I'm going 100 miles an hour down the road. So, Total Eclipse, thank you. That's it. There it is. Yeah, Total Eclipse was awesome. Like, again, on 3DO, so good. But yeah, that was good. Wolfenstein 3D is so good on the 3DO. Still the best console version, I think. So, especially with censorship and stuff, it's probably the best because there's none of that. DM me, I got you. Thank you. I'll tell you, it's just, oh, I love the 3DO. I love it. Can't say enough good about it. And you don't hear that from a lot of people, unfortunately. It's because they don't take the time with them. You know, you got to take the time. Go through the library, especially with an ODE. Just go right through them all. You know. But yeah, and even the CDI. CDI's got some good stuff on there too. It's hidden. It's not as much, but there's some good stuff in there. So have you ever tried the 3DO? I played, like, when I go back and play Wolfenstein 3D, I only play it on the 3DO. And that sounds weird because I have like a PC. Like, just play it on the PC, right? No, just something about like the controller, just how it works. Like, just the controller feels good. Again, another thing, 3DO. Controller's great. Forward thinking, headphone jack, 3DO on the controller. See? Shockwave. Oh, Killing Time. I forgot about Killing Time. Foes of Alley. I've never heard of the Foes one there. Of Alley. But, oh my goodness. Killing Time's a great one. I totally forgot about that one. That's a great one. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Wolfenstein 3D is probably the best on there. I think it's so good. But yeah, the controller's comfortable. You know, honestly, it's a great system. It gets so much hate for no reason. It's not deserved at all. Masonstein is a PC port for 3DO. Wolf. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Because I never actually played on the PC anymore, but back in the day I did. When it was good old shareware. But, yeah. Dude, 3DO. Love that thing. I know, I wish you were here. I streamed installing Dan's kit on a 3DO with the HD Retrovision cables. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's probably on my... which one are you on? YouTube? Yeah. So it's probably on there. Oh, dude, I didn't even notice. Your your picture is the 3DO. Oh, no way. Oh, Knockout Kings. That's a great one. So this one was an early version of, essentially an early version of Knockout Kings. Oh, man. Knockout Kings was a classic. That and Ready to Rumble. So good back in the day too. So I gotta check out Foes of Ali. Is it like Muhammad Ali actually? Is that what it is? Hmm. But yeah, I've installed so far 3. Yeah, 3 of the of Dan's kits. They're awesome. They're so good, so good. Oh, an RGB on a 3DO at 240p looks fantastic. It looks so good. It really does. So it is Muhammad Ali. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Foes of Ali. Oh man, oh man, that's good. Although like look at the like the latest boxing game I played. I don't know if you played it. Was the Creed one on my Oculus. It's like insane. It's like in VR. It's like whoa, it's crazy. It's like Teleboxer for the Virtual Boy on a whole different level. Oh, the Virtual Boy. That's why actually I streamed that too. I consoleized mine. Install one for you, possibly. So, if you get the kit, I don't know if they're in stock right now for them, but I can't do VR yet. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, VR honestly is, it's like I like it, like but like my fiance hates it. I totally get it. She gets motion sickness, but honestly, my favorite VR is. I have like one of the racing wheels setups there with the I don't even know what you call it, with like the the big bar and you can sit down. But I like playing Project Cars 2 in VR with the racing sim seat. There it is, racing sim seat. So yeah, the refresh rate, yeah, it's hard too because I have the Rift S and I had the original Rift which had better refresh rate. But the Rift S has better like resolution and inside out tracking there. But the refresh rate doesn't actually bother me too much. At least I didn't see a big difference between the 90 hertz to the 80 hertz. But yeah, I'd love to see like the index in action. I still haven't. 144 hertz is like insane. Like that's gonna be insane for VR, straight up. Probably look real smooth, like real smooth. But yeah, VR is good, but it's expensive. I mean, the nice thing is PSVR has gone down in price like crazy, and a PS4, and you can have yourself a ball. If you can stomach it too. So. But yeah. All right, I think I'm. Yeah, that gives you headaches. I know it does. It gives me headaches. So even after like like if I'm in like doing VR for a while. Like couple like hours, I'll get a headache and I'll be like, oh, take some Tylenol, rest, come back. So it's the Blade Runner VR mini game. Oh, there is? I did not know that. I love, like as you can probably tell, like I love synthwave and stuff. That's like what you hear in the background. But yeah, I love synthwave and I love Blade Runner. I love all that like cyberpunk stuff, like Cyberpunk 2077. Excited for that game. It's gonna be awesome. Straight up, it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I love like we were just talking about Police Knots, right? Like there you go, Police Knots, Snatcher. Kojima's ingenious mind making cyberpunk games. So man, Snatcher's so good too. Oh, so good, so good. Oh, all right. I think I'm gonna go try this bad boy out. But hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing it too. I appreciate that. Yeah, especially because if you haven't already, I'm gonna be streaming more on Twitch. So I'm actually on Twitch right now. I'm like streaming to both. So I'm at twitch.tv/massvideogamer. So you can find me on there, follow me on there, and yeah. So yeah, well, thank you. Good night. Enjoy, brother. And thanks for coming by. And there you go. This is the mod in a nutshell. There's a mod in a nutshell. All right, we'll see you later.